Men who tell dad jokes are more attractive to females. Bosh.
2 hours a day of admin.
It is just all you all the time.
550 hours a year, £16,500. It's sort of swept under the rug. I can't handle the paperwork. I can't handle the admin load.
You don't even have to think about it.
Allow the tradesperson to do what they love.
Hello and welcome to the Alright Mucka podcast with me, Tom Webster.
Me, Sammy Verghese.
And we are co-founders of Mucka AI, the AI voice assistant for tradespeople. Today's episode 2, Sammy, we are going to talk about the problem that we are trying to solve.
We are going to be talking about the pain that tradies feel day in and day out.
I don't feel no pain.
I don't know what that's from.
What? You know A-Team.
I do know A-Team.
I ain't getting no plane.
I ain't getting no plane, yeah.
I don't feel no pain.
Okay.
I just made it. I just
over my head.
I just tried to shoehorn it in.
So, another episode of your dad jokes, I guess.
Yep.
We should just do a section of your dad jokes.
Yeah, well, I sent Jack
just get them out of the way.
Yeah, I sent Jack a thing on Instagram here saying that men who tell dad jokes are more attractive to females. So it's actually a scientific study. So
I think they were just clickbaiting you there, pal.
Well, it worked. I've been baited and
they have monetized you.
So if we talk about your pain, it's working with me and my dad jokes.
Yes.
But what's the tradesperson's pain?
The tradesperson's pain. Good segue. This is not your first rodeo, pal. The tradesperson's pain. I guess 2 hours a day of admin, essentially, right? And being on the tools all day in, day out, grinding, working with your body, and then at the end of the day, having to do all your invoicing, quotes, job scheduling, answering emails, WhatsApps that you've missed, just a whole litany of stuff, which is what we're trying to abstract away, I guess, and get rid of with Mucka.
And also the day-to-day. So when you're on the tools and you're actually working with your hands, you don't want to constantly be on your phone trying to answer questions or trying to organize your business. So you're trying to concentrate on something that's high skill, and you've just got this phone that's just in the corner. It's going, like, need me, I need me. And it's trying to juggle all of that. And also a lot of tradespeople work on their own.
Yeah.
So a lot of them are out on their own, they're doing their own bits. And then you are trying to be the master of all. And we know that from obviously running businesses in the early days of running any business. You're the marketing manager, the admin manager, the HR manager, you're the finance manager, you're everything.
Yeah.
And I suppose the trades see an intense version of that, because it is just all you all the time on the tools as well as on the business.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, if we go around to why we want to solve that problem. From a selfish perspective, to be honest with you, we're looking at AI and the way the world's going to change over the next 5 to 10 years. And I'm really deep into that black hole now, where I think the world is going to be vastly different.
You are.
Yeah. And then if you then say, well, if you're going to start a business now, you're going to need to make sure your customers are still there in 5 years' time. Yeah. So if you're, without being rude, if you're an accountant, a solicitor, or anything that's knowledge-based, I think you're in trouble.
You are, yeah.
So what you don't want to be doing is building tools for those people who probably won't have a job in 5 to 10 years' time, but who will have a job in 5 years' time will be tradespeople. I just don't think, obviously one day robots maybe, but I don't think it's going to be the same. I think you've got a much longer tail on that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, without going completely off script and off tangent here, but robots, definitely a lot of money going into robotics at the moment.
Yeah.
But do they have the precision and skill of a master brickworker, a plumber?
Yeah.
Electricians, etc. It feels like that is some distance away. Yeah,
it's a big stretch. And how comfortable would people be? So if you let's say you're an 80-year-old woman at home on your own, and you've gone through the phone book, as it were, and you've picked out a plumber, and the plumber turns up and it's a humanoid robot at your door going, no, I've come to think, you'd be like, nah. So I think there's a long way off.
I mean, at least you wouldn't get the plumber's ass crack in your face.
Or you might, maybe you just design that part
just to feel comfortable.
Yeah, but then tradespeople need to be using these tools because that's going to keep them at a competitive advantage. Yeah. So if all of a sudden two plumbers come to your door to give you a quote, one of them is super good with admin. He's on the ball. He's sent you the stuff straight away. It looks professional. It's all dealt with. Versus someone who's all scrappy. He's got pieces of paper hanging out his pocket. It takes a week to send you a quote. you're always going to go more likely to go with the person who's more customer friendly and more organised.
Of course, we've all experienced it, right?
Yeah.
With tradespeople, and this is not taking anything away from them because their job is ridiculous. You know, like I said, the manual labour and then the admin load, etc. Yeah. But what if you just had a tool that could automate that on the go in the van, etc.
Yeah.
So there are a couple of problems and pain points. It is the emotional toll that takes on the tradesperson as well, but also the financial toll, right?
Yeah.
Because during our research, we discovered that it's roughly around 550 hours a year that is wasted on what is now needless admin.
Yeah.
Through AI. Obviously, previously there are other tools on the market, etc. But that still takes a decent amount of manual input and manual additional labor to actually create these invoices and quotes. And
it's still evenings and weekends.
Yeah.
So it's not on the go. It tends to be, you would...
You still need to open a laptop, or you still need to do it on your phone, right? With what we're doing, with what AI now enables, essentially, not just what we're doing, but what AI enables is for you to do it on the go. So that 550 hours of additional admin time that you spend across a year equates to roughly around £16,500 of lost earnings that a tradesperson can make. 16.5 grand.
Yeah, a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, big time. And doing it on the go. So those hours, even if you used to say they're the same hours, but you're getting someone else to do them. So essentially you open the app, you speak to the app, you say, right, I've done this. I need this to be done. I'm doing this. And then the app knows the next part of the workflow. So we can go off and do that work for you. So while you're still working in your normal working day, the admin is being done.
Yeah.
And then obviously we know, like with the roadmap, where we want to get this app to is it starts to become intelligent.
Yeah.
So rather than it be you saying, I've done this, I need to do that, it can start to knock on you and say, just to let you know, Mr. Smith hasn't paid yet. I've called them and just checked when they're due to pay, and they told me they're going to pay by the end of the day.
Yeah.
Now, if you can get it to the point where you don't even have to think about it.
Proactive rather than
reactive. So obviously in the early days, the app is going to be basic. It's going to be that foundational version of what we want. And then we know where we want it to get to. But we're going to do that with loads of feedback. Like you introduced me, I know we mentioned the last podcast, to the lean startup. And the idea is that constant iteration, that constant customer feedback, and not saying, right, this is where the app's going to go. Yeah, we have a rough idea of what we think, but we don't know that. The only way you can ever know that is if your customers are telling you that's what they want.
Yeah.
There's no point in spending a year building this all singing, all dancing app if everybody wanted this app.
Yeah.
And the only way you know that one is by talking to people.
Yeah, discovering their pains, right? Like the vision is at 100. We're at 0, getting into 1 at the moment, just about to launch. Between 1 and 100, getting to that final vision is, can we just solve every single pain point tradies have across all the multiple verticals within the trades industry, from electricians to plumbers to HVAC, like we've mentioned multiple times. But yeah, as we speak to people, and we've started to speak to quite a few, right? It is the same issue with everyone. All of our sort of surveys, all of our questionnaires, all of our phone calls, etc. What is your biggest pain point? Your biggest pain point is admin.
Yeah.
And the idea that nobody has really solved that yet. And like I said, there are other solutions on the market, and we take nothing away from our competition. They're not as good as us.
But at the moment, they're much better than us.
They won't be as good as us once we've launched and iterated and built more features. But the fact that even 2 to 3 hours a day for non-tool using customers is still half an hour to an hour a day for tool using customers of what's on the market. We're just trying to put that into minutes, right?
Yeah.
With our goal is minutes.
Yeah.
Can you talk to Mucka? Can you allow Mucka to start learning your business, the ins and outs?
Yeah.
And can you just allow the tradesperson to do what they love doing, which is fixing shit?
Yeah, you know? and that was funny, because when we were doing those, well, we're still doing them, but those conversations where we'd say to like, what do you hate about your job? What do you love about your job? And it's actually quite surprising how many, or pretty much all of them, are like, I really like my job.
Yeah.
Like I actually really enjoy doing what I always wanted to do. which when you, again, from our sort of like when you work in offices and all this sort of stuff, no one says that. No one sits down and goes, actually, I really love doing spreadsheets.
Yeah.
People are more like, no, it's a paycheck. Whereas you speak to bricklayers and plumbers, are like, oh yeah, I love it. I really like doing my job, but I hate having to come home in the evenings or spend a weekend missing things.
It's the thing. It's the part of the job that nobody tells you, right? Yeah. It's because I went to Fix Fest with Jack as well, and there were a couple of people. We were asking them like, what would you do differently? Or what do you know now that you didn't know at the beginning, right? And that question, the feedback from that was always like, I wish I knew about the admin load. I wish I knew about the paperwork. I wish I knew how to generate invoices. I wish I knew how to generate quotes. I wish I knew how to do health and safety, to do job sheets, etc. Like all of that admin load is not the vision that has been sold for get on the tools. It's fun. It's rewarding. It's challenging in a good way.
Yeah.
It's actually get on the tools, but don't forget you've got these reams and reams and reams and reams of paperwork which nobody will ever tell you about, and it's sort of swept under the rug, right? Yeah.
And then I suppose if we then look at it from a neurodiverse, neurotypical standpoint as well. So my mum and dad, my mum's ADHD and dyslexic, my dad's dyslexic. So I grew up in a household where I understand those, like, I'd use the word conditions, but I think that's probably a stretch. And they both run businesses, but you could see that the admin side of it was always a struggle. They knew their vision, they knew how to speak to customers, they were great salespeople, but then it's like, how do we then manage this?
Yeah.
So then, like, I always helped them with that. So that was a part of my life, was always helping people out. And I think that a study from On the Tools, I think it's like 52% of people self sort of identify as either ADHD, ADD, or dyslexic.
Yeah.
And we all know that they would have a higher threshold of challenge when it comes to doing admin.
Yeah.
Because it is words, or it is workflows, and and sometimes the reason these people have gone into the trades is because they can use their hands, and it's something that they're good 100%. At and they like. So then what you then don't want to do is limit those people and say, right, because of these like issues that you have with admin, you can't go self-employed.
Yeah.
It's like, no, let's fix that. If you can just talk to something, which we're all really good at, if you just talk to something and then it goes and does it for you, and you can just guide it as if it was an employee, then all of a sudden we actually just help loads of people.
Yeah.
So not only are you helping neurotypical people who are bogged down in admin, but you're also helping neurodiverse people with things that they find more challenging than neurotypical. Do you then open up a whole other world of people that can go into self-employment and control their own destiny that couldn't have done it before?
Yeah, because we don't have the stats on that at the moment.
No.
And I don't think the stats are out there because we've probably looked, but the sheer amount of people who are stuck on payroll that could go self-employed, that don't want to go self-employed. It's not just the sole traders. The sole traders is our initial market right now, right? And we've discussed it, and it is out there. We want the self-employed individuals in the early stages of Mucka because they're the ones with the highest admin load.
Yeah.
But what we would love to prove is is sort of allowing hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of additional people to seek their goal in going self-employed, where the limiting factor is I can't handle the paperwork, I can't handle the admin load.
Yeah. I also find it interesting that when people do go self-employed, that some of the tools aren't all the way there.
Yeah.
So when we were talking to some people that do subcontracting, and like someone like, I'll say it out loud, I don't want them to go and fix it. One of the major accountancy tools, if you're a subcontractor, you can't send an invoice net of the taxes.
Yeah.
So, and again, this is one of the biggest tools.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, if you can't solve that problem for that individual, then it's like, well, that leaves it for us. Can we say, well, actually, we know trades, but we know the problems they have, and these big tools aren't serving them. And then the other one we hear a lot is that the tools are massive. So you get a big job management tool and it does this.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, actually, I only really use this much.
Yeah.
All of this stuff is great, but it's too much for me. And we've all seen software that does that. And you log in, you pay your price, and you're like, oh, well, actually, I only really need this little bit. And then one of the things we've spoken about is how can we modularize it in a way that doesn't feel clunky, but you get to determine the environment that you're working in. So rather than having all of this software that does all of these different things that you don't use, is can we hide loads of that behind the hide loads of that behind the AI, and then you just have this window where you're talking to something and it's doing those things for you without you feeling this overwhelm of all this software that just doesn't really serve you.
Yeah.
And I think that'd be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen it in the reviews online from our competitors as well, saying, you know, technology is great. And again, take nothing away from our competitors, but I only really use it for invoicing in quotes, or I only really use it for job scheduling, etc. So yeah, you're so correct on that.
Yeah, and in the early days, our pricing will be just the flatline subscription. It'll be a freemium model. So again, that'll be massive, because we know there's a lot of people that don't use anything. And I know a few people that use free invoicing tools, which again aren't good enough. Well, if you could have a free version of Mucka and to be able to actually start to work and get to use it, and then our pro package would then be integrating into the Zeros and QuickBooks and all the other tools around the outside, and you start to get more out of it. But I'd like us to pretty quickly look at usage-based pricing as well. It's just like, if you're only using it for this much, then you should only pay for that much, rather than paying this. I've got all this list of features, and then but that'll take time. I think that'll be something that we learn along the way. But
we'll have to run some experiments to see what the users want, right? Because again, it's like you said at the beginning, it's all well and good trying to build something that we think will work, but this whole vision, this whole solution, this whole product, this whole platform has to be built around what is literally the best thing for the users, not just what's the easiest thing for us to build, right?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. So if we go back to pain points, so what other things have we heard that are like common pain points from people?
We've heard job scheduling and starting of timesheets for small teams is an issue. So one of our early testers at the moment explained that even just getting the lads to start the timer when they arrive to a job, it's so difficult. But again, AI and Mucka could easily solve that, right? Just an integration with Google Maps. Once you're there and parked, the AI notices that you are at the designated address. You've parked your car. Timesheet starts. The clock starts. So all of these things can be easily automated out, and it's almost shocking that our competitors haven't even thought about things like this yet.
Because you'd think that they'd be talking to customers all the time, but sometimes what happens, especially with bigger companies, is you kind of get arrogant, I guess. Is you've got thousands of users, you're getting paid loads of money, and you think we know best because we've look how good we are. And you forget about those fundamentals of how many conversations are you having with your customers every day, and how fast are you iterating your software. And then also you get that software lag as well, where it becomes so big that when you add new things on, you've got to test so hard to make sure you haven't broken anything else in the meantime, that you're not as fast.
Well, it's called the innovator's dilemma, right? The innovator's dilemma is when market leaders are making millions, tens of millions, £1 billion companies, some of our competitors are, they know that a new service, a new way of designing the product is coming, but to completely rehash their business model is a huge risk. Like if you're sitting on a £1 billion company and you're thinking, okay, I actually need to redesign this entire product from scratch, from first principles, from basics of how would I now do this in the world of AI? It's a huge risk, and boards and investors, etc. Very, very, very hard decision for them to make. So we're in a lucky position that we are riding the initial sort of AI wave. We are riding the initial AI agent wave. We are riding the initial machine learning wave. And we're building the entire product for the next 10 years, rather than looking backwards and thinking, how do I not damage my business model?
No, massively. My brain's gone dead then. I'll pass back to you.
Cool.
I had something, but it's gone.
Well, in that case, it might be a good place to wrap that one up.
How long have we been, Jack? 20 minutes of waffling.
Yeah, 20 minutes of waffling. I think we've done pretty well on that.
Nice. Well, there you go. We'll use my my brain dead as a nice little timer.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for listening to the All Right Mucka podcast. Check us out on all the socials and check the website mucka.ai if anything you've heard today sounds interesting. We are opening our early access list, so if getting involved in Mucka is something you want to do, please do. And it'd be great to have you along for the journey. Reach out to us, ask any questions, give us feedback, give us some suggestions. We want it to be a completely open conversation. We want to build the tools that you can use. So yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks guys. And as Tom sort of mentioned, we want to build this with you. So if you don't want to be an early tester, there's also a waiting list, Mucka.ai.
Bosh.